Alright, it belongs in museum. We sent our top men. Yeah, artifacts. History, yeah. Learning, education.
Let's go. I'm told by no constituent in particular that this level might be bullshit. No. No, it's not. It's perfectly fine. It's just gonna take you a while if you've never played it before. In fact, debugging this level took me hours to decide what path I was gonna take. And even taking the path, it still took me half an hour to actually do the video, so yeah. I mean, do a cut, I mean, you know. There wasn't a second take. There didn't need to be. Anyway, let's talk about experiences at the museum and why we don't seem to get enough of them in our world. I mean, I don't know. If I was going to a tourist trap, so to speak, I think one of those tourist traps would be a museum. So if you have a good museum, maybe I'll visit. I guess the same would apply to the zoo. I would like to visit a zoo. Art galleries also, and art galleries tend to be a subcategory of museums. I mean, museums tend to have art galleries in them, but art galleries are not solely museums, right? Look at these weird textures that are disguised as paintings for more proof of this subject. Also, there's a lot of bathrooms in this level, and there's a lot of water we gotta deal with, and I don't know. This is just all over the place. I even had to know how you could get yourself lost. If I had more rockets, they'd be more useful in this level, that's for sure. But at least I got ammo in the bathroom. And at least we have vents in the bathroom. Again, how many times have you had to jump on top of a toilet and be like, aha, a secret passageway? Every time. Look, it's even over here. There is gender equality in my vents. My fucking god. It is a miracle after all. Actually, I think they're both just go somewhere else. I don't know where some of them are connected. Sometimes they are in some of these levels. That's right. I was debugging the level for so long, I forgot that I wasn't trying to get familiar with the map in DOS. I do not like how the map renders in DOS, as opposed to how Doom does it.
Much better.
Because, well, maybe if there's a setting to make it so it only goes in, like, black background, because then the second one it shows, which is interesting, how it actually loads the texture into the map as you're playing it, which I thought was more of a source port thing, but no, the DOS does it. It just looks kind of weird. And anyway, I didn't want to like stare at the map the whole time in that way. So, hopefully I don't slip out like that again, but if there's a really long level I'm trying to practice, chances are I'll forget about it and be like, oh right, I don't use the map when I'm actually doing the run for real. Not for this game. At least because I can remember where stuff is. It's, again, people are like, you don't remember where stuff is in like Wolfenstein 3D? I'm like, no. It's easier for me to remember where stuff is in Duke Nukem 3D and Quake because there's actually enough to distinguish where things are. Even if some levels can look samey. That's just how it is. The less cramped it is, the better in that case. If I'm just put into like a vent maze, it could be a bit of a bitch. We got some airplanes hanging on the ceiling. You know, all the security guards are pig cops instead of them all being Paul Blart. Paul Blart, the mall cop. I want some. Can you give me some chips and a Pepsi? Thanks. I want some and I'm gonna come get them. Thank you for preparing my fast food, Duke. I'm going to Duke Burger. Wow, this bathroom has 3 hand dryers. That's fucking serious. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen one with 2, but 3, clearly, there's a lot of importance on hygiene in this public bathroom. Oh, excuse me, 4. That's just unheard of. Then again, I imagine this would be one of the largest museums to ever visit, so I guess the bathrooms would have to have that many just to account for it. Oh, this one's just got 3 in it by itself. There's plenty of hand drying to go around. Disregard towels, acquire hot air. Ever tell you about a manufacturer of urinals called Sloan? And how I made that into a Star Trek DS9 joke? It's about as funny as you might think it is, because it's actually not. Yes, let's talk about my time in the public bathroom. What more can I say? Make sure that your toilet is clean before sitting on it. Bam. Tips. Pro tips. But I imagine they'd be better about it at this damn museum, so don't worry about that. Oh, I remember that one time we went to the Bronx Zoo. Oh, man. Oh, we got the Rise of the Triad guy hanging in there. We're looking at Ancient Civilizations world. Or, yeah, Ancient Worlds. Which, that's one thing. That feels like it could be a whole nother level in itself. And it's not. It's all connected, baby. I'm convinced I would not mind a stupidly huge Duke Nukem level for that reason. It's just like, well, I mean, as long as it's not too hard and it's just me wandering, I could go for wandering all freaking day. But you don't want to see a video of me constantly wandering. In fact, that's one of the reasons why I haven't done my Zelda videos yet, is because lots and lots of wandering. At least with Metroid, even though it's not linear in terms of how you can approach it, I already have set paths. When it comes to like Zelda, it's just like, well, you know, I get the things and then maybe I get the things or maybe I don't. Even if I know where all the things are. You know, it could just matter of what resources I have at any given time. It just happens. Gonna shoot the peacock with the chain gun thingy. It looks like a triple shot. Actually, you know what the chain gun looks like? It looks like, you know those gas lighter things you use on barbecues, or maybe the kind of thing you'd light a big cake, maybe? It looks like 3 of those put into one single gun. As for what the shrink ray looks like, you got me, but I believe it is a cousin of the plasma rifle in terms of design, if you ask me. Which is to say, vacuum cleaner. It's not a vacuum cleaner. Yep, so here's the art gallery. It's the smallest part of the museum. I want to say I'm surprised, but I'm kind of not. What would you do in the build engine for the art gallery? You just have to put a bunch of, like, textures or just insert your own images just for the purposes of this level alone. And I feel like most people would not necessarily waste their time with that. They wouldn't have to. I mean, if you want to go the extra mile, you could have exclusive, you know, painting textures just for this level and nowhere else. But, you know, I forgive them. I forgive you, Sunstorm Interactive. Actually, you know what company's cool? Sunsoft. I don't know why, but when I play a Sunsoft game for the NES, their music is just banging. No exceptions either. Like, the game could just suck, but their music could be like, well, maybe it's not too bad if I get to listen to these sweet tunes. Like, for real. Although, now I don't know why they had, like, a port of Lemmings, this Sunsoft. Like, what was that about? I don't understand that one either. Oh, it might have been for... So it was a Japanese export to the Super NES or Genesis or something like that? Whatever. Anyway, Sunstorms. Sunstorms about things you'd learned when you went into space. Oh yeah, that space exhibit definitely borrows from episode 2 of Duke Nukem 3D. Oh yeah, you bet your ass it does. I'm telling you, there's not enough of that stuff in this game. It's always down-to-earth spots, which is good too. But I like to see some more sci-fi based things, if you wouldn't mind. Thank you. I could shoot through the windows all day and be like, employees only. And then I'd be like, where are the employees? And be like, they're not here. But we have a employee of an alien empire mastermind overlord thing. Which, by the way, it is the same boss as in episode 3. So, look for the feeling that's not going to be hard or anything. No. It's just going to be there's less space for you to work with, but it pretty much affects nothing other than just being like, that's how we end off a traditional Duke Nukem episode. We just shove one of those bosses there and bam, you're good then. If only for the purposes of this event that you shot through. Why are there so many events in the museum? There's so many events in the museum. In fact, The vent is required because one of the keys is in this vent. Damn. Could have gotten super lost on this vent. I almost tempted to just actually pull up a map for this one. I'm not doing that a second time. Or maybe I did do it a second time and forgot already. It's like once is enough. Once is enough, man. Hey, cartographers. Is this how the museum looks? I'm just wondering. Because it's funny how there's an elevator at the second floor when there's also, like, a very wide open set of stairs going down and up. So it's, like, almost pointless. Where, like, between the first and second floor is the only one with stairs anyway, as opposed to the rest of the museum. I don't know if you designed that way. I don't know what this glass display is for, but pro tip, there's something inside. It's health. That's good. I'm not going to remember that later because there's plenty of health to go around, but I just like how that's shoved in there at pretty much random. And you otherwise have no reason to look in there, really. That's quite an overlooked secret, I believe. The living ocean. Actually, I like these animated ocean GIF things. They're pleasant to look at. I gotta tell you, I appreciate the aesthetic of Duke Nukem 3D levels. Like, I can just look at them. Like, if you just took all the enemies and power-ups up, I would just walk around in them. Be perfect for VR. It's like, look, I'm in the building, yeah. Look, there's sharks. You know, I didn't go to this, but I believe I went to... Well, I know I went to SeaWorld in San Antonio, but that's not what the thing I was thinking of. I was thinking of this somewhere in Maryland where, you know, you have this, you know, this big-ass aquarium, and it'd be such that there'd be a tunnel in the aquarium, sort of, so that there'd be water above you, and there'd be fishes flying outside the window. I mean, there'd be fishes flying on top of the window. Forget that happened. That was a glitch in the Matrix. It didn't happen. I'm surprised. I'm more surprised than you that happened. I'm very surprised. I didn't realize a shark could break through a force field like that while still technically falling into the force field. I'm assuming maybe it's because its hitbox is longer than the boundary. As long as part of its hitbox remains inside the cage, it's allowed to be there. Which means it can only, you know... It can only protrude so much outside the force field is what I'm thinking. I did not want to find out, though. I do not want a mid-air floating shark in my Duke Nukem 3D. Thank you. We put these laser beams, and we put freaking sharks with laser beams. Yeah, how about you make them no-clip, Dr. Evil? Oh, shit! So, there's an idea for you. Do that. Check behind the computer server. You never know. This is where the sysadmins go to bathe when you're not looking. When you're not looking, when you've got rockets, scuba this gear. Wow, that's my first RPG of this playthrough? Fuck. Rockets don't get enough love, I guess. I guess they'd be kind of boring, but I got Devastator shit before I got the rockets. I feel like that's inappropriate. The Devastator should be usually the last weapon I get. And the freeze thrower can happen whenever it wants. But yeah, the Devastator should usually be my coup de grace weapon. And getting it before the rocket launcher feels almost cinematic. As in cinematic. As in, are more sharks going to invade my property? Find out next time on Shark Z. What's going down here? Oh, right. This exhibit actually ends at the, was the first floor. No, yeah, this exhibit ends at the basement, actually. It's just you can't enter from the basement until I open it from this side only. For my eyes, for your eyes, for everyone's eyes. My eyes. They're the eyes of champions and kings and queens and so forth. And... Oh, hey. What's all this, then? Actually, this is where they feed the sharks and shit. You know, someone's gonna feed the fish in your aquarium, so they have all these back door things. Oh, you want to be on, like, those back door... Yeah. My thing about the back door terminal meme thing is, first of all, that is the first time in a while where I've seen a meme that is more of a concept, like, say, SCP, than any sort of written medium, as most memes and the internet are. The other thing is how boring that is, because if I really want something like that, you want to go full on non-Euclidean, but instead it's just spaces that look comfortable that are technically possible for no particular reason. Which, okay, that's kind of empty room syndrome. Like, if you're playing an RPG and you think there's a treasure chest at the end, and there isn't, and you're just like, oh, that makes me feel bad. But maybe it's the experience you learned along the way. Yep, every Shark Tank's got a switch in it. That's lovely, go nuts. Da-da-da. If I go in the water, how much will it say? How many switches would you pull in order to get through this fucking level? Yes, the goal will eventually lead us to another key. And yes, I do believe the red key is going to be the exit. Like always. It tends to be I've noticed that this tends to go yellow key, blue key, and then red key. Wow, consistency. I like it.
It's very quiet in the aquarium. I hope someone doesn't knock David Attenborough off the BBC because of something he said about preserving animals. It's like, but if you don't preserve animals, then you won't have a show about animals, dummy!
That's what I would have said. I'd be like, yeah, okay. So when the animals are gone, you're going to make me do a show about animals when there are none? Yeah, I'll just make them for you. Don't worry about it. You know, who knows? Who knows what they thinking? What are they thinking anyway about the sharks in the water? Oh, it's our first little mastermind button puzzle. Which, in my notes, I just write down the answer immediately. Because I don't need to go through that a second time. Remember, the best button mastermind puzzle goes to that one level in the berth. To, like, set up the rocket in Area 51, where there's, like, I want to say 8 buttons, or possibly 16. Or yeah, I think it's 8 buttons. Maybe 12 buttons? Anyway, it's a lot. Whatever it was. But it wasn't just that, it's just that you had to press a button in order to set up the buttons to press anyway. On like at least 2 rounds. Hey, stop eating my face. My face is not nutritious. Okay? There's lots of skin and oil in it. Nothing about it says, I want to eat your face. Oh, that was the remainder of my medkit. Oh dear, what a pity. I'll have to go get another medkit somewhere in this museum. I imagine there is one I left around. In fact, I know there is, or I would not have done this. I would not have taken that risk, not knowing that. Without knowing, we have no earthly way of knowing which way we're going in this museum mowing. I don't know why, but my imagination of this level was a lot more boring than what this level ended up being. Without ever playing this back before, based on its reputation. It's like, oh, it's going to be like a lot of long, empty spaces. Turns out it was not the case. I'm pleasantly surprised. It's not like anyone's going to spoil 90s FPS level design for me. How could they without me watching a video? So, no, not even screenshots could spoil the experience for me. This is actually wonderful. Especially how much of Episode 4 turned out, even though it was kind of randomish. You could make up your own semi-coherent, like, story for what was going on, even though it was just locale to locale, and really, that's what matters most. You going around locale, committing violence to the aliens, wondering why there's a bit of Earth to look at under the sea. I don't understand that either. I guess it's just to show you how many oceans are covering the Earth. You know, 70% of the Earth being water or something. Here's the real question. Does the Earth have more or less percentage of water compared to the human being? It is less somehow. So don't feel bad if you think the Earth sucks. Just add in more water. It'll be fine, I swear. No, it won't. Ooh, I'm back in the art gallery. Okay, yeah. There was a med kit in the art gallery. That's good. And I also imagine that there's another med kit I left elsewhere, once again. So again, not to worry. This would probably be a steroid-heavy level. Yeah, I found the one... Oh, I actually stopped myself from picking up steroids. But yeah, I could see you using steroids in this level if you just kept backtracking a number of times just to get it over with. So that'd be a use for them.
Let's go elevate. Who do we appreciate? I gotta shove my blue key in somewhere in space, or is it in the ancient world? Is space even important? Wouldn't you like to know? No, we gotta go to the ancient worlds, I believe. Ancient worlds, they are ancient. I'll go to space anyway, since I haven't been in space. Why not? Yeah, I didn't actually want to use the steroids. I don't feel like I need to reload the save though. Whatever.
Groovy.
Look, even more laser trip bombs. Soon I'll be maxed out because this game barely cares. Polaris Outpost. Look at how tiny it is. Look at those giant pig cops. Oh wait, they're actual life size. What does life size mean in the context of fictional creatures?
Come get some.
That's what I never understand about plushies that are like life size. It's like, what does life size mean in the context of an inanimate object? Person. No, really. Life size is a bullshit term. It's life size. Like, you know, you have life size for things that are basically. Oh, this is an interesting secret. You know, you have life size for things which would otherwise be miniatures, in which case you would not call it life size, you would just call it that thing that is not miniature.
Hail to the king, baby.
I can't believe this is a thing I'm upset with in our language.
Did you like that secret where I hopped through the windows?
More importantly, the atomic health.
But also,
Was that a Devastator again? Also, how come the Devastator loads me up with like 15 ammo to start with? It's like they care or something. Actually, here's the better question. Why do some of these guns have 99 ammo instead of like 100 versus these other things that have 200? I suppose it was to save up on HUD space, but still, come on. Squeeze out that extra 0 just for me. I want to get in the triple. It's okay, actually. 99's a fine number. But it's not easily divisible. Actually, no. You got your 11s and your 3s and your 9s and your, oh no, prime numbers. Ah! It's prime time for the museum. Starring the Zoolander. Starring some guy. Actually, I've only seen the first night in the museum. Thanks for asking. I didn't even realize there was other ones. I mean, okay. What museum joke would you use for the title? I'm sure there's plenty to go around. I just don't think of museum when it comes to wordplay. So I have to make a reference to anyone going to any museum at all. I suppose you could see what's behind the walls. Hey, excuse me. There's ancient civilizations on Mars, according to Ancient Aliens Museum. Haha. Oh, man. No Ancient Worlds exhibit would be complete without its own real-life sharks from the modern day. I can understand being turtles, though, because turtles live a long-ass time. Which means I don't know how much they actually change in terms of evolution. Same with some gators, / crocodiles, or whatever. Those things. You know the ones. Those things last a while. But no, a shark in those times would be like, I'm not a megalodon, I'm a mini-lodon. And then it's like, okay, if you say so. Yay, I got my Devastator ammo. Oh yeah, don't forget this area, because this is where the red key goes, and that's how I'm going to leave this damn museum. I almost forgot when I was doing this run that that's where the red key was, so close to where the blue key door is, which is kind of ridiculous. So, again, I say, why do I need to go to the space exhibit? I don't know. It's kind of funny. It would be a waste of this level if I did not go to the space exhibit. Let's put it that way. Also, there's a secret in the space exhibit, too. So, I mean, there is that. Okay. There's space and there's Mars, and it's not Mars. It's just somewhere with the pyramids at night. They're looking really hot and shit. I like how in Ancient Worlds it just looks like a regular-ass city. But then you have this guy hanging from there, and I don't know what this part of the exhibit is supposed to mean. Sewers. Maybe it's supposed to represent the early 1900s. Not really. It just looks like modern era. I guess if a sci-fi game is set slightly in the future, it might feel like an ancient civilization sort of kind of deal for you. DLC for you, and then for me. Secret place for atomic elf guys. Pushing buttons in my buttons. Following the arrow's advice, which is to go up boxes as far as you can see. Oh man, I hate when my boxes have a vent inside them. You know, is nothing sacred? Must we shove vents into every possible locale, even when it makes no sense? I don't know, but there's a Wolfenstein-style prison-looking thing in here. So maybe that's the joke, and I'm not offended by it because it wasn't very funny. I know what you're thinking. Is the funniest thing mean that it's offensive? I don't know. I do want to know why I have two security footage things that are essentially the same one. Why are those side by side if they don't work differently? I know the original levels had some side by side cameras that actually work differently, so I don't feel like that is necessary. Maybe for symmetrical purposes? I'm just saying. What's on one camera is on the other camera. I need reasons to look at these cameras. At least when I'm debugging the level, the cameras are more useful. But by then, I'll know what I'm doing. Oh, when I need to push this thing, this area restricted. Why does the door look like this? Oh, it's the, this is where we keep all the props, I guess. And the stuff we have not put in exhibits. This room is kind of silly because of how the things spawn. They'll just come out of the aisle, like, out of nowhere. No, seriously. You won't actually see them until you approach them. It's kind of stupid. This is the real back rooms they warned me about. Oh man, an actual back room. Oh fuck. Where's the stock management guys? Yeah. I feel like if your job in life is to manage stocks, you should work at a warehouse, stocking actual physical items. So you can feel the pain of everyone not doing, like, things that are not nearly as important as you think they are. I'm not sure what point I was trying to make there. I guess a pun on the word stock, when it's the most boring thing I can make it rhyme on. The most boring thing in the world is when I waste explosives on corpses because I get paranoid. That they'll get back up, even though it's the grunts that get back up. And that almost never happens, as long as I'm paying attention. As long as I have all the trophies and whatever that is. Okay. We got the button on the side there. What do you miss about pressing buttons? I miss all the buttons. Come get with me. With all the buttons. Gonna go see what the shit I opened. What the hell did I... Oh, hey. I missed the guy. Not anymore. Good thing we keep armor in the back rooms. Oh, check it out. Look, guys, I found the sarcophagus. I am the man. Behold, the ancient pharaohs as... Is this the second time I play a first-person shooter that just had Egypt references? I'm like this close to doing Serious Sam or like another particular game. You know which one? It's that one build an engine game I don't hear talked about. At least not until a couple years ago. Oh, we could do it once I put in the time. I feel like that's a little whiles away, even though it's not impossible. It's just more like I don't know much about how it plays, other than its build engine, which means I could approach it in easily runnable way. But I just mean like, what weapons do what enemies do what do I need to prepare my ass for? I'm already doing that with another build engine game, which I should be showing you soon. It's just I had this stored away, this expansion pack, for a while, and I just wanted to get it out of the way. Oh no, you're gonna get crushed, your eyes. What walks around, comes around, goes in your nose. Yeah, I'm so good I violated public property for my own vandalistic purposes. Alright, so somehow all of that has connected us back to the bathroom. The first floor bathroom, I believe. Not the basement one. Unless it is the basement one. No, I think this is the first floor bathroom. Or it was the first floor bathroom. Yeah. I don't know why I'm going in the basement. No, it's because I have to wait for the elevator to complete its cycle before I can make it go back up when I made a mistake. You make a second mistake and it lasts you a lifetime. Oops. Mistakes last for lifetimes, even though they only take a second to make. They're very efficient that way. As is all destructive things. It's very efficient to take something away than it is to give back. Who knows? All I know is I gotta go behind those walls again. There we are! Hey. Anyone behind the gate? Garage door? No? Alright then. I guess finally the museum is no longer a museum. Now it's an old museum. Did I ever tell you about the Dubseum? Which is a shitty 90s style website that it was just a practice for me in web design. Which no longer holds any relevance because it's kind of like building a house. It's not as fun as you think it is unless you're actually making something creative. Which it turns out I wasn't doing. I'll see you later.